Now, Flieger's deck, for his credit, as we are underway here, he's got a Temple of Epiphany to start. He has a Jeskai control deck through and through.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is 3 copies in the main deck of Anger of the Gods, 3 copies in the main deck of End Hostilities. Really the only kill conditions here: Keranos, God of Storms, 1 Resolute Archangel, and then 3 copies of Mindswipe as the burnouts, 2 copies of Elspeth as well.
A lot of Mystic Monasteries here to start round number 1. Costa will play a Flooded Strand and simply pass the turn back. Flieger with 2 lands in play. He saw Deflecting Palm as the draw for the turn. He has 3 main deck copies of that card. He'll play a Battlefield Forge. Looks like we're going to send it back Costa's way. Costa's hand does look to be a little bit reactive as he'll sacrifice a Flooded Strand and go down to 19.
And the reactive game definitely favors Bruce here. Costa with a lot of cards, you know, Wild Slashes and such to shore up the early game, and Bruce's deck going all the way to the top. So the more the game looks like this, the more it's in Bruce's favor.
Costa does search for a Plains there. He'll take a draw. Looks like a copy of Lightning Strike is what he did pick up. Flooded Strand, just a passing of the turn, so no creature here yet for Matt, even though he has plenty in his deck. Bruce will play a Magma Jet, and that'll go upstairs. Give him the opportunity to scry. Maybe he's looking for a land in this instance. Looks like one's going to stay on top, the other will go to the bottom. We'll head back his way. His 4th turn, he'll take a draw. Card he kept on top was a Jeskai Charm. He'll play a Temple of Epiphany, take a look at that top card. He'll leave that on top and simply pass the turn back over to Costa, who will sacrifice a fetch land yet again, go down to 16, Plains or Island coming.
Bruce has kind of got a throwback to the old counterburn strategy here.
Certainly feels that way, especially with the Mindswipes in there.
And Deflecting Palm. Yep. I mean, he's trying to defend himself, get in little chip shots here and there with burn spells, and finish the game off with things like Jeskai Charm.
Temple of Epiphany, the draw for Costa. We'll put that into play immediately. Put the top card down to the bottom from the scry. We'll head back Bruce's way. Shivan Reef the draw. He'll play that. And this is very control-y, even though Costa's deck is listed as just Aggro. He hasn't drawn any creatures yet.
Yeah, kept a hand with a lot of removal. Still hasn't found a threat.
Temple of Triumph scries the top card to the bottom. Looks like Bruce is going to make a move with something here. It'll be a Magma Jet yet again. Costa down to 14. Scry 2, 1 on top. Mystic Monastery to the bottom. We'll see what the draw step is here. It's a copy of Mindswipe. There's a Plains.
Game is getting to a spot here where I think Mindswipe's going to be plenty good.
Soulfire Grandmaster the draw. And that'll enter the battlefield, or at least try to. So Bruce will just take a draw step. Looks like another copy of Magma Jet. We head back Costa's way. Costa will draw a copy of Seeker of the Way, and now here comes the Grandmaster. So we'll see if Bruce can finally deal with the first threat that Costa has deployed. He'll start with a Magma Jet. See if Costa will have a response here. He does have copies of God's Willing in his deck, and he will play one of those.
And not even trying to use Soulfire Grandmaster's activated power here. Understanding Bruce probably has a pretty powerful hand for playing back at this God's Willing. Wants to leave all of his mana up, maybe to rebuy something bigger if the stack gets a bit complicated.
The Scry will put the top card to the bottom there from God's Willing. 2 damage will come across. Costa will also gain 2 life in the exchange. Now Costa may be looking to add to his board a little bit more here with the Seeker of the Way, and he will. Bruce will untap. Take a draw here. It's a copy of Dissolve, an awkward fit to his hand at this point. Keranos in the grip right now too. Though it is pretty risky to tap out for that threat.
Well, Matt's been doing nothing, so you got to guess if his hand's got, 5, 6 cards in it. Unless he's really flooded out, it's got to be burn spells.
He's tapping 4 mana. Let's make it 5. So it looks like he's going to go for Keranos. Maybe thinking, I'm at 18. What are the chances that I'm going to die? It's not impossible.
And there were a couple opportunities here for Bruce to tap out for some of these threats. Chose not to, and now he's in a position where he kind of has to just stick something because his hand's getting too clogged up.
I'll stoke the flames here from Costa. That spell will have lifelink, so we'll actually get to gain some life as well. He'll quickly untap and take a draw. Picked up a copy of Soulfire Grandmaster. And with 2 Wild Slashes and a Lightning Strike in hand, he can really have some fun here.
I mean, that's 7 points of burn and 3 triggers, so that's 10. 12, 14.
Yeah, is that lethal at this point?
I count Exacxies, because each burn spell is worth +1.
Yep.
So there's 7 in the hand, 3 spells. That's 10 damage, actually. And then you got 2 2/2s in play.
Does add up to
Which
14.
is conveniently exactly what Bruce's life total is.
Wild Slash number 1. That'll resolve, and of course trigger prowess there from the Seeker of the Way, so that becomes a 3/3. It's a Lightning Strike. 3 damage dealt, another trigger. And now a Wild Slash. Down to 7. Another trigger for the Seeker of the Way. 7 power on the table. Attack for 7. Costa hoping the opponent has nothing. Bruce does not, and Matt Costa is going to win a rather strange game number 1 here with the Jeskai Aggro deck. Up a game here over Jeskai Control.
Well, there was a couple spots there where Bruce just wasn't doing very much with his mana in places where he had Keranos and Elspeth in his hand. So he had Jeskai Charm in hand, for example. I think he was trying to play the game in such a way to burn Costa out with it. But I think he might have been better served, for example, just putting one of Matt's creatures on top of the deck, untapping and trying to land one of his big threats. Because once he gets to untap with Keranos or Elspeth in play, the game becomes a lot easier for him to play. He just has a pretty big advantage on the board. And then his removal spells, his burn spells, he can really start capitalizing on that. But the way that game ended, Bruce had Jeskai Charm, Elspeth, and other spells left over in his hand. And there was a couple turns there where he had opportunities to spend mana and did not.
Yeah, he may have thought that maybe he was in maybe a mirror type matchup when Costa's actually playing a much more aggressive build. He just hadn't drawn any creatures up to that point.
Yeah, once the Soulfire Grandmaster comes out and Costa's got a handful of spells, I think you just have to do something. You can't wait too much longer.
Time to take a look at the sideboards. We will start with Flieger's deck, and we will see an Anger of the Gods, his 4th one in the sideboard, 3 in the main deck, 4 copies of Disdainful Stroke, 2 Dragonlord Ojutai, an additional copy of End Hostilities, also the 4th one of those on the board, 2 Grind Clocks, 4 Mantis Riders, and an additional copy of Resolute Archangel.
I like the Resolute Archangel a lot in this matchup. It's big and can undo a lot of Costa's work. I like the 4th copy of Anger of the Gods. I think Dragonlord Ojutai is pretty good here, as is the additional copy of End Hostilities.
Dragonlord Ojutai, very popular in these Jeskai sideboards. Of all the different Jeskai decks, you can be tokens, you can be kind of mid-ranger, or you can be control. Seems like a very good option.
Well, it's just powerful in most post-board games that just slow down. You know, people are bringing in more removal spells. You're typically bringing in counter spells of your own. The reason it doesn't appear a lot in game 1s is because you're trying to be a pretty fast deck, and it's a 5-mana spell, but post-board with everything slowing down, it becomes very, very potent.
What do we see on Costa's side?
3 copies of Disdainful Stroke, 2 Negates, 2 Arc Lightnings, a Glare of Heresy, a Wild Slash, an Encase in Ice, a God's Willing, an Obs on Advantage, a Prognostic Sphinx, an Elspeth Sun's Champion, and a Valorous Stance. I think Costa's going to go a little bit bigger here too. I like the Prognostic Sphinx. I like the Elspeth. The counter spells, Disdainful Stroke and Negate here are excellent. And the additional God's Willing as well.
See both these decks here, Jeskai Aggro and Jeskai Control, just 2 options for players to play next weekend at the Star City Games State Championships. We're going to be talking about this a lot this weekend because it is next weekend.
Exactly. If you're not competing in the Pro Tour next weekend, well, head on over to your state championships. You can head over to Star City Games/states for more information. It's a 2-day event, standard on Saturday, April 11th, and Modern, Sunday, April 12th. If you happen to top 8 one of the Standard State Championships, you get this play mat that we'll have for you momentarily. And Modern has a different play mat, which we'll show here. And if you are lucky enough to get both of them or acquire them in some other way, you can put them together like this. A little top-down, 2-frame action.
It's like a puzzle.
It's like a puzzle with 2 pieces.
It's really hard to screw up.
Exactly. StarCityGames.com/states to find the state championship closest to you.
I will be playing in both states next weekend in Washington.
Hustler.
And I'm calling my shot right now. Jerry Thompson also lives in Washington. And if we happen to battle in the tournament, I'm going to beat him. We have a storied state championship history. When we both lived in Indiana, I was playing Scred Red. He was playing a 66-card Mystical Teachings deck.
I imagine Jerry had a big edge in the matchup.
He did beat me in the Swiss.
Yep.
Then we got paired against each other in the quarterfinals of the top 8. He conceded to me.
Classic Jerry.
And then I lost in 5 seconds in the semifinals, and he was very upset with me. The following year, Jerry was a little too lazy to show up to States, and then I won States. And he said I wouldn't have won if he was there, which I don't believe is true.
Well, it would have been harder to win, certainly. But I don't think it's fair to say. I don't think it's fair to say.
My Merfolk deck was great, and that's what I won with.
What format was that?
Some standard format where Merfolk was legal.
Like Lorwyn or?
Yeah, Lorwyn.
Okay.
Lorwyn. Adam Prozac's design of Merfolk, I believe he also won his state championships with that deck. And I beat a Kithkin deck in the top 8. Oh, how the tables had turned. Yes. As we are underway here in game number 2, a Temple of Triumph is how we will begin things. So, Jerry, if you're listening, which you probably are, just don't bother showing up, because I'm going to defeat him. Another Temple of Triumph.
Jerry Thompson just loves tournaments like States.
Yeah. Jerry just loves the game, man.
Yep.
Anytime he can game, he'll game. Top card going to the bottom here for Costa.
Constructed tournaments where it's likely his opponents are going to be brewing, I think Jerry just loves those kind of tournaments.
He does. Flooded Strand, the draw. Temple of Epiphany here from Matt. You see the crossed arms of Andrew Boswell behind Costa right now. I don't think he's in uniform just yet for the tournament.
No. Still got sleeves on.
Yeah. Just trying to keep himself warm, as it is actually snowing outside early this morning in Syracuse.
The lightest of dustings.
Here's a Magma Jet going upstairs. Talk about a light dusting. That's what
Magma Jet's a light dusting too.
Both cards will go to the bottom. Bruce will take a draw here. Another copy of Temple of Triumph. He'll put that into play. Top card.
Looking at Anger of the Gods right now, which could be attractive depending on what Costa's up to, but Bruce also on the hunt for blue mana right now. It looks like Anger's going to the bottom as a result.
Yeah, it does go to the bottom as Costa will take a draw. Flooded Strand. Matt will sacrifice that pretty quickly. He'll get a Plains. We'll see what he's be able to put together on the third turn of the game again. He does have plenty of 3-mana threats. Bramaz and Mantis Rider both in his main deck this weekend. He's going to go with Bramaz. Actually has the option between the two in his hand right now.
And electing to play this mostly because Bruce with 2 mana up could be representing Lightning Strike.
Dig Through Time was the draw step, and you can see we are far way away from that.
And now Costa with an opportunity to play Mantis Rider with God's Willing backup, which is a nice setup.
Matt will sacrifice his Flooded Strand, go down to 16. I think he's going to go for an island, and he will. So the mana is online here for the Jeskai Aggro deck. There is Mantis Rider with that stray mana available for God's Willing. Looks like it's time to get into the red zone. We'll have a cat token join the party here in just a moment. It's
Team Vigilance.
It's a healthy attack for 7, and all very vigilant, as you did mention. This will be a Deflecting Palm.
And I don't think Matt's going to fight over this. I think this is fine. He wants to save that God's Willing for an actual removal spell for one of his creatures. Damage Ray still comfortably in Matt's favor, especially with Bruce without blue mana right now.
Mantis Rider, the draw here for Bruce. His deck not functioning the way I'm sure he would like it to be. This is an Anger of the Gods, and I think we're going to see that God's Willing now.
Yep. This seems like a good spot to save that Mantis Rider.
God's Willing will resolve. Costa will scry. Now, he needs these threats to be good because his hand right now is very land heavy.
Exactly. Though Bruce is far away from being able to get to something like End Hostilities, and Bramaz has great protection against another copy of Anger of the Gods. And the clock that Matt's generating here, very fast.
Costa will take a draw. So copy of Seeker of the Way. Here come the attack shot again for 7. Flieger down to 9 now. Just Seeker of the Way and lands. There is the Seeker. Mystic Monastery past the turn back. By deploying the Seeker this turn, it puts Bruce on a 1-turn clock.
Yeah, the hesitation there from Matt's side is it does open him up a little bit more to another Anger of the Gods mattering. But Anger of the Gods here, it's just so slow to leave the Seeker in your hand and then recasting it the following turn if you get swept. And I like just going for the kill next turn.
Bruce will have to take 1 here from the Shivan Reef. This copy of Anticipate. So take a look at the top 3 cards. He gets to take 1 home with him. But I would be surprised if that's able to find what he's looking for in this situation.
He's looking at Magma Jet, but now with the 1 point of damage he's taken from the Shivan Reef, it means that Burmaz plus Mantis Rider plus the 2 tokens is lethal, even if he does something about Seeker of the Way.
Yeah. He will show his hand and extend the other one. Matt Costa is going to win this game and this match here over Bruce Flieger. 2-0. Jeskai Aggro will take care of Jeskai Control. A good start for Costa.
Absolutely. I think in game 1, Bruce did have the tools to make the game more competitive than it was. I don't know if